Parts of the Texas Hill Country saw close to 20 inches of rain before Friday's deadly flash flooding. Some state emergency officials were quick to say that was not what the forecast predicted.
It did not predict the amount of rain that we saw.
But the National Weather Service tells Spectrum News the agency did provide flash flood warnings early Friday, 3 hours before local creeks and rivers became deadly torrents.
The National Weather Service was pretty much on top of this situation, given that they're even short-staffed. They were still on top of this, and they provided the warnings.
As soon as the floodwaters receded, the questions began. Was the Weather Service on top of the situation, and did the Trump administration's cuts to the agency contribute to the large loss of life? The National Weather Service issued a flash flood watch just after 1 p.m. on Thursday, and its first flash flood warning at 11:41 p.m. for Bandera County. Just after 1 a.m. Friday, a warning was issued for Bandera and Kerr counties, with a designation that should have triggered wireless emergency alerts. Just after 4 a.m., the flash flood warning was upgraded to a flash flood emergency for Kerr County. The first reports of flooding were issued just after 4:30 a.m., according to the Weather Service. The Associated Press reports the Weather Service office responsible for the Austin-San Antonio region had 5 staffers at work, the usual number for an overnight shift when severe weather is expected. But the website for the Weather Service shows 6 of 27 positions listed are vacant, including a manager responsible for issuing warnings and coordinating with local emergency management officials. And all of this unfolded in the early morning, when many in the danger zone presumably were asleep. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on Monday demanded an investigation into whether the vacancies contributed to the loss of life. The White House pushed back.
There is ongoing flood monitoring, and these offices were well staffed. In fact, one of the offices was actually overstaffed. They had more people than they need. So any claim to the contrary is completely false, and it's just sad that people are pushing these lies.
As part of Elon Musk's efforts under President Donald Trump to shrink the size of government, the Weather Service lost hundreds of employees. John Sokich, who has worked at the Weather Service more than 40 years, says more staff would have been helpful ahead of time, especially for outreach and education with community members and emergency managers.
I think we have to, again, examine that last mile of communication. How to make sure people get the information. So wireless emergency alerts on your cell phone, the NOAA weather radio, television and radio stations, all of that is a way to get the information. People have to be aware of it and have to make sure they can receive the information.
President Trump has floated phasing out the Federal Emergency Management Agency and having states take on more responsibility for disaster response and recovery. When asked if the president is reconsidering that plan, the White House press secretary said it's a policy discussion that will continue. In Washington, Rena Diamante, Spectrum News.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your community, click the subscribe button here. You can also download the Spectrum News app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.